Yeah, it's a test 3. Test 3 is already done. Test 4. Oops, Revit training 10. Yeah, so it's test 4 and save. Okay, so if you see in this structural tab, so we have 3 options here: truss, brace, and beam system. Okay, so let's start from the truss. So just consider we have two level 1 and level 2. So this is our top up wall. So right now I will just add a wall here. Go to the structural wall. So my wall is start from level 1 to level 2. Okay, so suppose 14 meter, and this is 7 meter. Okay, and this is 14 meter again, right? I will select all. Just my base constraint is level 1 and top constraint is level 2. I will set this 0. Okay, so if you look at in 3D view, it looks like. So I will just convert into the fine, then realistic. Okay, this one. So I want to add here truss. Okay, so you need to go on level 2. Okay, so we need to add the truss here. So first of all, you need to design which type of truss you have designed. So we have number of uh, truss here. So which family you need to take? So you need to decide first, right? So suppose I will go here and just click here truss, right? So if I click here, so there is only one truss family, flat truss. However, flat truss. So suppose I want to just load another truss family. So go to the insert, click here load family, and if you reach here libraries, then India, then we have uh, okay. So we need to just I think we have just structural. We need to check in structural framing. Structural. So go to the structural. Yeah. So we have separate folder that structural trusses. Okay. So if you go here, so you can see the different types of truss here. So gable in gleb truss 6, 8, 10 panels. Okay. So as per your requirement, you can take as per whatever you have designed. So I will just take this simple gleb truss 6 panel. Okay, and just add open, right? So you can see I have added this. Then you need to just give your span. So I will give here center to center point. Okay, then if I cut the section here, right? So I will just minimize up to here and just increase the scale, right? So if I go to section, so how it looks, so you can see, right? So if I convert into the fine and hidden lines, so you can see we have added this truss, but you need to change this. So you need to format this, right? So if you go to here edit, right? So you have option here structural framing set to framing type. Okay, and these are the different types here. Top chords means this is your top chords. Vertical waves, this is vertical waves. Diagonal waves, so this is your diagonal waves. Then bottom chord, so this is bottom chord, right? So you need to set here first. So structural framing type here, if I click here, so there are the different types of member. Okay, so which type of member you need to select, so you can select here, right? Then if you go to here start and end is a pin connection. Then if you go again vertical waves, so let's, I will just change one by one. So here is the different types here. 152, I will just select this HSS 152, 152 hollow circular square section, right? Then if you go again here, and I will select the same size 152. Then if you go to the for diagonal webs, so you have option here, right? Then bottom chord also, then I will select this one and say here apply and okay. So you can see the member has been changed here. So if you look at in 3D view, so you can see your truss is looks like, right? Then after that, I want to change this truss height. So you can see we have option here. So if you select and you can see, suppose my truss height is 1 meter. So you can give the 1 meter height. Or if you want to change 1.5 meter, so you can change. So your connection will be fitted here. Okay, so if you go again, so you have option here. So if you go and so you need to first of all you need to design the member as per whatever you have designed. So you need to first design your member, and if your size is not available here, okay, so finally what we'll need to do, just ungroup this truss and just you can just manually, right, manually add here. So if the size is not available in this tab, so you can see UB305 all those things here. But if you, as per your requirement, if your size is not available, right, so you need to uh, just select and go to edit profile. Oh, sorry, not edit profile. So these are all set here. uh, Reset. Okay, so you need to just draw your member and you can just hide this. Okay, but most of you can get your sizing. So first of all, if you want to add the truss, so you need to go here structural and you should know where is the option, right, and what is the criteria. So if I click here and edit type, so you have option here, top code, vertical code, so all those things you can add here, right? And if you want to change the truss height, so you can go here. Suppose I want to add a new another different types of truss, so I will go here insert. Okay, so load family, and I will use this flat truss, yeah, and just click here open. Oops, we have already here. Okay, so you need to go and click truss, and you have already here flat truss, right? And then after that you can just add, right? So once you done with at one frame, so, okay, so and then you can copy at your whatever you have given the distance center to center between truss, 2 meter, 3 meter, 5 meter. So you need to edit first one frame. Once you done, so you can just copy this. Okay, so I have just add here another type, so you can see the same thing. You need to go here edit, and you need to change the size. So 150, suppose I will, so this is the smallest size here, and 152, then here is 152, there is 152, and apply and okay. So you can see, then you can change the your truss height 1.5 meter. So if you see on your drawings in 3D view, so you can see, right? So this family is as per the set here. So you need to just modify your truss height and member size. So simple. Once you done, so you can just copy at all location. Then after that, you can just add the roof. We know how to add the roof. Go to the architectural tab and add the roof. So if your building is needs to 3D model with truss, so you have option here. Then once if you get some special type of truss, right, and then this type is not available here, right, so what we'll do, so you need to just first of all you need to draw yours in line work, whatever which type of truss you want, line like that. So you can use the reference line and you can add your member size. Okay, so if this truss is not available on your in this family. So you can create as per own setting. Once you create, so you can just copy at all location, right? Then if you go again, stress, yeah, the next is bracing. Okay, so if you design some industrial building, right? So with framing like that, so combination of column and beams, right? And if you design some vertical bracing, okay, so how to model this bracing? Let's see. Then horizontal bracing also. Okay, so what we'll do, I will just add a column here from level 1 to level 2. So I will use this column category. Okay, I will go with that 305 305. Okay, so I will add the first column here, then fine. Okay, then I will copy this. Suppose my column center to center is 3 meter, again 3 meter. So I will just add a framing here, right? And this direction is 5 meter. Okay, like that. Then I will select all the columns. So column is going level 1 to level 2, and I will set this 0 here, right? So if I go here level 2, then I want to I want to add the beam here. So I will use this size. Then I want to add the beam here, right? Like that. So you can just add the beam column to column, then add a beam, then add the beam, and add a beam here, right? If you look at in 3D view, it looks like, okay, like that. Then if I cut a section here, okay, I will cut section here and go to elevation, go to view. So this is my view. I need to change this fine and hidden line, right? So this is my framing. Okay, so what I do, I will just increase. So here is only 3 meter. I will add a one more grid. So what I do, I will just copy again 3 meter below, right? Like that. And what I do, I will just extend all the column up to bottom. So bottom is level 3, like that. So if you see this, okay, so this is my elevation. So if I go to the section here, where is my section? Yeah, here. Go to view. If I extend this and I want to add a one more column, sorry, beam at the level 1. So what I do, I will copy all the control C, and I want to paste, modify, paste at a select level 3 here, and okay. Oops, not 3. It's level 2. Oops, sorry. So I will copy again. And what is the level here? Oops, it's a level 1. Okay. Paste, and I will select level 1. Oops, column I also select here. Okay. If you go to 3D model, so this is your framing. Suppose I want to add the bracing here. Okay. So I want to add the bracing here. So simple. You need to go structural. So don't use this option. So we have simple option, and all the bracing is going in the beam category. So you select the beam. Okay. So you need to go in 3D model and select the beam, right? And you need to select your bracing member. Suppose I will select this HSS. You can choose any angle, equal angles, SHS, RHS as per your design. So you can just insert from here and just add. Okay, so I will select this 152 152 by 9.5. Okay, I will select this size. Okay, so once you select in 3D view, right? So you have option here 3D snapping. So I want to add this bracing exactly at the center of this column to the center of this beam. For that case, you need to on this 3D snapping, right? Once you on this, so if you move your cursor, so you can highlight the points here. So you can see if I move my cursor here, so I can get the point here. So simply you can just select, and if you go down here, so you can see, then you can see here. So this is the top of the beam here. So you can just select, like, then you can select again. Okay, so suppose I want to add the bracing in down direction here also. Okay, so you can see, so I have added the bracing here. So similarly, I want to add the bracing here. Means then just before adding, so your 3D snapping option should be on, all right? And if you move your cursor and just add your bracing like that, okay? Then similarly, you can add the horizontal bracing also. Suppose I will copy this beam by 3 meter. So our center to center of the beam is 3 meter. So I will copy and just add here 3 meter, right? And I suppose I want to add the K bracing here. Okay, so you can go here and just use the beam, right? And on this 3D snapping, and just add your as per your. So this is your working point, right? So once you select, and you need to select the second point at the midpoint like that. Then same, you need to select again. You need to select again here, right? So this is your K bracing. Or if you want to add up to here, then from this point to this point, right? So you can add the horizontal as well as vertical bracing. Then if you cut the section, all right? So this is okay. So in this direction, we haven't added the bracing here. So I will cut a new section, and let's see in this direction. If I go to the view, then fine. Oops, so I added the bracing. Okay, so oops, we have added in this direction. So I will select this bracing and go to level 2. Yeah, in this direction. So suppose I want to add the section here. Okay, and go to your view, so you can see. Then if I change find to hidden, okay, then suppose if you want to add the gusset plate connection, so you can just add the 2D lines, right? So you can suppose my bolt is 140, bolt location to here, then up to here, then okay, so we need to just adjust this up to here because this member is clashing with the horizontal beam, right? So you need to just adjust. So you need to give some gap, 20 mm, 10 mm, right? Then after that, you can just create a just 10 offset here like that. Okay, and then you can add your gusset plate here. Just trim here, just add. Okay, like that. So this is your plate, and this is your eye section. So after that, you need to add here hidden line. So your plate will be welded with this web of the column, right? Similarly, this is your hidden line. So you need to change to hidden. So yeah, so this is your hidden line, but due to the scale, I will just minimize. Yeah, so you can see. Then this is the plate is weld to the web of the column here. Okay, so you can develop this detail. Then after that, if you go to the structural tab, we have one more option, beam system. Okay, so where we can use this beam system. Okay, so I will show you. Okay, so suppose this is your framing. This is your I section here, and you have added here beam, right? This is also I section here, and this is my framing. Okay, like that. And suppose I want to add the beam here, equally place here, right? So what I do, I don't want to add one by one. Okay, so I have some intelligence. So I will use the beam system here. Okay, so let's see how to use. So before, you need to go on top view where you want to add the bracing. So you can see our level 2 is our top level. So go to view, right? So I want to add here, so I will just increase the scale 25. Okay, so I want to add the bracing here, brace system from in this direction or in this direction. You can give in any direction, right? So you need to select first. Okay, so once you select, you have two options: automatic beam system and sketch. So we'll see one by one. So if your framing is ready, you have already ready your framing, right? And if you move your cursor in the framing, okay, so you can see, so it's activate here. Okay, so what I do, I will, you are not able to see clearly, so I will delete this, right? So this is my framing. Okay, so, and if you go to here, beam system, automatic system, so you can see if I move my cursor, so you can see 1 2 3 lines is added here. If you want to, you can add the beam system in any direction. So if you want to add your beam parallel to this beam, so you need to move your cursor on this beam. If you want to parallel to this beam, so you can just move your cursor on this beam, right? And if you click here, okay, so you can see that this beam is added here, right? If I move my cursor again this framing, so you can see, if I select, so you can see the structural beam framing here, right? So you have option here. Once you select, so you have option here, so fixed distance. So if you want to go with fixed distance, so you can go with that. Means this is your fixed distance. Suppose I will change this 500, so you can see the number is automatically changed. Okay, so suppose if you want to fix number, so you want to fix the number from this point to this point, suppose 5 number, so you can give the 5 number. So 5 numbers are equally added here. Then maximum spacing, so if you want to give some maximum spacing 500, so on the basis of this you can add here. Then clear spacing, center to center spacing, suppose I want to add 500 center to center spacing, so on the basis of that you can add the bracing here, right? So if you look at in 3D view, so your bracing beam system it looks like. Okay, then after that you can use any option, layout rule and clear spacing as per your requirement, right? Then you can see this is the HSS member size. If you want to change, so you can change any, right? Then suppose uh, this structure has been changed, so this level is going down here. Okay, so once you change this level, so your beam system is also automatically change here. Okay, so I will show you. Suppose this column is stop below 500, so this is my higher level and this is my lower level. Okay, so minus 500. Okay, so you can see, and also this beam is going down minus 500. Okay, so once you change this beam, so you can see your beam system is also changed here. Okay, because we have select the framing here, so on the basis of that they have changed here. Okay, then this beam, so this beam we have just added the manually, so there are not beam system, so you can just change manually. So if I select this beam and give the lower elevation minus 500, so you can see it goes down, then minus 500, right? Like that. So you can change your structure. So if the slope is changed, so no need to update each and every beam. So if you use beam system, so you have option here. So once you change this, so this beam system also change automatically like that. Okay, then if you go again, beam system. So if I suppose I will add this beam system, right? So this is the first option is automatic beam system, and here sketch beam system. So in that case, you need to just add your sketch. So suppose I want to add this sketch, right? And then after that, you need to give the beam direction. So if I select this, so suppose you want to give this, so you can give this. If you want to give this, you can as per your requirement. Just click here OK, so you can see. So then you can just modify this, right? So if you go here, so I will give here 500, so you can see, right? So if you look at in 3D view, it looks like. Okay, then suppose if you want to edit this, right? So if you want to edit this, so select this and go to here, edit boundary, right? And suppose you have opening here. Okay, so this is your opening through this slab or framing. Okay, and click here OK. So this beam is automatically cut here around your opening, right? Like that. So if you look at in 3D view, so it's looks right. So if I go again and select edit boundary, and suppose my opening is irregular shape, so some like that. Okay, so the odd shape, just for example, right? So this is the odd shape, and if I click here OK, so you can see. So as per the your opening size or opening boundary, they have cut the beam. So you can see the first is small, then big, then big. Okay, so you can give any opening, right? Then after that, if you don't, once you select, okay, and you can just go here, sorry, yeah, beam type. So which type, if your type is not available here, okay, and once you freeze this number of beam or spacing, once you okay with that, so you can just, you have option here, remove the beam system. Okay, so you can just remove. So all the beams are individually here, so you can just change the size and as per your requirement. Okay, so you can add the beam system, you can add beam system any shape. Okay, so if I go with sketch part and my profile is like ellipse, like that, and if I click OK, yeah, so this is your boundary. Then after that, you need to give your beam direction, right? So suppose my beam direction, this you can give in this direction also. Click here OK, and suppose I will just change here fixed distance 500, so you can see. So as per your boundary, they can calculate here the length of each member, right? So you can give any shape like that. Okay, so these are the, this is the beam system. So you can, if your building is big and you want to add some beams, so you need to use this option, right? Once you okay with that, so you can just remove the beam system. Once you remove, so you can't create a beam system again, so you need to go again and create a new beam system. Okay, so these are the purpose for this command, beam system. Then if you go again next, yeah,
सर
yes,
सर वो स्टील कॉलम के बिलो में हम लोग आरसीसी स्ट्रक्चर आरसीसी कॉलम कैसे इंटर करेंगे, उसके इनपुट करेंगे? क्योंकि
किसकी,
मैं आज एक साइट पर गया था सर,
हाँ,
तो इंडस्ट्रियल एरिया था, तो उसमें मैंने देखा कि आई थिंक 3 मीटर तक सर आरसीसी कॉलम था
नीचे,
हाँ, उसके बाद स्टील कॉलम था।
उसके ऊपर स्टील कॉलम था,
हाँ,
बराबर,
हाँ,
ठीक है ना? तो आप यहाँ पे डाल सकते हैं, अगर आप यहाँ पे गए इस एलिवेशन, सो ये मेरे लेवल फिक्स है, ये मेरा टॉप ऑफ स्टील है, ये मेरा टॉप ऑफ बीम है, ये मेरा ग्राउंड फ्लोर है, और इसके नीचे मुझे कंक्रीट कॉलम डालना है, बराबर।
ये सर वो ग्राउंड फ्लोर से फर्स्ट लेवल के लिए था, आरसीसी दिया हुआ था।
हाँ ठीक है ना, ये ठीक है, ये आपका हो गया फर्स्ट लेवल, ठीक है, मैं फर्स्ट लेवल बोलता हूँ इसको, ठीक है, ये फर्स्ट हो गया, चलेगा। ये जो भी होगा वो टॉप ऑफ बीम, और ये देन ये टॉप ऑफ, ये भी टॉप ऑफ बीम सेकेंड वाला, इसको फर्स्ट वाला बोलता हूँ, ठीक है। अभी क्या करता हूँ मैं, यहाँ पे एक नया लेवल क्रिएट करता हूँ। सपोज मेरा कंक्रीट कॉलम का जो हाइट है वो 3 मीटर है नीचे, ठीक है। सो इसको मैं, और यहाँ पे मैं देता हूँ लेवल का नाम मेरे हिसाब से टॉप ऑफ कंक्रीट, टॉप ऑफ बॉटम ऑफ कंक्रीट, अगर ये मेरा कॉलम है, बॉटम ऑफ कॉलम, ठीक है। सो एज पर माय कन्वीनियंट I will give the label here. So you need to go here, right? So go to your plan. What happened? Okay, right click. Oops, I will just create a new grid. Sometimes if I copy, so it's not work. Oops, label structural, then labels, and I will add here, right? So this the gap is 3 meter. Okay, then right click and go to floor plan, right? So you are here. So you need to change here. So I will just select unlimited. So whatever your element, above elements, you can see here. Fine and hidden. Okay, so you go again. Yeah, so we are here, TB3, right? So if you go again and go floor plan here, so we need to show our upper part, right? So if you go here, view range. So here TB3, right? So we need to cover our upper part. So you can just add here, I will just give here 1500 and apply, and okay, so all those member you can see here. Okay, so this is my column, right? So I want to add the concrete column, right? So uh, right now you need to go here, structural, then column, then you need to select your column and just add here, right? So if you look at in 3D view, so yeah, so you need to just adjust. So where, yeah, so our base constraint is TB3, okay, and top is first floor. So you need to just give the top floor is first, like that, and just remove this constraint, base offset, like that. Once you done, so you can just copy at all location. So I will just copy and paste, and just copy, paste, and just select all, and you can copy like that. If you look at your model, so it looks like, yeah, समझे
ये प्लेट भी यूज करना होगा ना?
क्या?
प्लेट भी यूज करेंगे सर ना, वो कॉलम के बिलो पर
हाँ,
आरसीसी।
ये बताया ना मैंने, वापी हम कल हम
सर
स्ट्रक्चरल स्टील में कर रहे थे, वो तो
हाँ, तो
वहां पे
वही
बता।
हम रिवाइज नहीं कर पाए सर, टाइम नहीं था तो
अच्छा अच्छा, ठीक है,
इसलिए
तो
मैं
वो
पूछ रहा
रिकॉर्डेड सेशन देख लो, वहां पे आपको पता चलेगा कैसे डालते हैं प्लेट वगैरह, ठीक है।
हूँ। नहीं, जैसे वहाँ प्लेट डलाएगा, मैं ये पूछ रहा हूँ कैसे डालते हैं, ये नहीं, मैं ये पूछा
हाँ
वहाँ।
हाँ हाँ, यस यस, यहाँ पे प्लेट आएगा, इस ये आपका कंक्रीट कॉलम आ गया। सो यहाँ पे आपका ये ग्राउट आ गया, और
हाँ,
ये आपका प्लेट आ गया, ठीक है। फिर ये आपका कॉलम आ गया, अगर ये यूसी कॉलम है तो ये ऐसा दिखेगा, ठीक है।
ओके सर।
या so beam systems where we are, okay, then okay, so next is okay, rebar. Okay, so suppose if you want to add some reinforcement in 3D reinforcement, right? For example, suppose I will just copy this to column, right? So this is my column, and I want to add beam here, concrete beam. So suppose I will add here concrete beam from this point to this point. If you look at in 3D view, it looks like, right? So I want to add the reinforcement in this column, and okay, so what we do, just add the footing also, isolated footing. Okay, go to the plan and click here, isolated footing. Just add the isolated footing here. Okay, right. So first of all, you need to cut the sections. Suppose I want to add the reinforcement here. Okay, so I want to cut a section. So you need to add a section and go to your view, right? So this is your view. Okay, then after that, suppose I want to add the reinforcement here in this isolated footing. Okay, whatever 1.8, 1.2 by 450 depth. So how to add? So once you go to the section, so this tab is active here, right? So if you go on this rebar, so rebar shape definition include the hooks and just say here okay. So once you click okay, so this library is active here. So this library just by default as per the Autodesk, so they have assigned the 0 0 number for straight bar, then 180-degree bend for both the direction is 0 1. But if you working on some Indian project or US projects, so they need to purchase this toolbar. Okay, so suppose if you working on UK standard, so 8666 is the code number. So as per the 8666, they have given different numbers for straight bar. 0A says, then L bar 0B. If you go to the US 108 code, so they have given the different number here, 011 for straight bar, then L bar is different number. Okay, so as per your requirement, you need to purchase this advanced tool. Okay, and you need to install in your add-ins here. Then you can just detailing as per your respective code. So here is just they have just added the tentative, just a reference. So this code is not as per the standard. Okay, any standard, but just for the information. So if you go here and click here rebar, right, so you can see different types of reinforcement shape here. Okay, so suppose I want to add the L bar here, right? So I will use this U bar, 17 numbers. Okay, and you need to just move your cursor, so you can see this bar is active here. So you need to just place. So if I move my cursor below, so it goes to the below, and if I move my cursor above, so it goes above. Okay, suppose I will place here 13. So if I select, so you can see the bar diameter. Okay, suppose I will select 16 bar dia, so it's actual 16 bar dia, right? So if I go to here fine and hidden, so you can see this is your bar. Then similarly, okay, so let's see how it works in 3D. So yes, if I select, yeah, so you can see this is your bottom U bar, right? So what I do for clarity, what I do, I will just increase the transparency for this footing. So go to here by element and go to here surface transparency, and I will just add here 80, right? So you can see. So what is the purpose for adding the transparency? I want to see the reinforcement here, right? So if I select this, right, so you have option here. So 16, yes, so rebar, then this is your bar shape, right? And you if you select this, so if you go here single, okay, so you have option here fixed number. Suppose you have design 5 number of bottom bar, so you can see the 5 numbers is added. Okay, so suppose if you go to with spacing, okay, number with spacing, so or needs to go with clear spacing. Okay, so I will give you here 300 clear spacing. So you can see on from this point to this point they have calculate 6 number of bars, right? You can see here 6 number and 300 spacing. Okay, so once you done, so you can just add or you can just mirror this for the top bar like that. So if you look at in 3D view, so your reinforcement it looks like. Okay, then similarly you need to add in this direction also. So what we'll need to do, you need to cut the section in this direction. Okay, so just cut section in this direction, then place here and go to your view, right? So you can see this is my main reinforcement. Then you can just add the second layer reinforcement. Simply just go rebar, and suppose if you want to add the same reinforcement, so just click and just click top bottom. If you look at in your 3D view, it looks like. So what I do, I will select and give here spacing. So suppose this is my spacing is 300. Okay, so you can see. So if I increase the spacing 150, so this is 150 and this is also 150 top bottom. So you need to change for the top and bottom. Then you can see, right? So you can give the reinforcement like that. Then suppose I want to give the reinforcement for this column also, right? So you need to go here, then click here rebar. This time I want to add L bar, right? So you have option here. The shape is 17A, right? So you can see. Okay, so you can see here. If I move my cursor, so they have take only this concrete. Okay, so in that case, once you add it, so you need to just trace this length up to here. So you need to calculate what is the distance. So you need to just consider the bottom cover, then bottom 2 bars. Okay, and then you need to just stretch the length here. Okay, then if you look at in 3D view, so I will what I do, I will just increase the transparency here 80. Okay, so your bar it looks like. Okay, then you need to give your a leg in this side, so you can just simply mirror this. Okay, and delete. Then in that case you need to just minimize this length up to here. You need to calculate. Okay, so or if you go to the top view, so you can see here where is our top bar. So okay, so what I do, I will just cut the section. There is our section, yeah. So this is our, there is bar, right? So this one, okay, so we have added here, right? So I will cut a section through this column. Then you can just rotate 90 degree, select this and just rotate in 90 degree. Okay, and just move here. Just give up to here, and I will just increase the scale 25. Okay, and if you go to view, so your column it looks like. So where we have added the 1 bar, so this one, right? So before adding the reinforcement in column, so first of all you need to add the link here. So go to here structural rebar, and you need to search the link here. So you can see the T1 shape, right? So click and move your cursor, so you can see If you want to give the hook in 360-degree, you just press the space bar. So once you okay with that, so just click, right? Then after that, you need to move your vertical bars at this corner. If you want to change the diameter, so you can change. Suppose I want to change it 25. Okay, so you can see. So this is if I convert into the fine and wireframe. Okay, so you need to just adjust here like that. Okay, so this is your vertical bars. Then if you calculate this number of stirrups in this column, so the same thing you need to select and give the spacing here. So 150 I will give here. So you can see the calculate from this point to this point. Then after that you can just mirror this vertical bars, mirror and mirror it opposite side like that. Okay, if you look at in 3D view, your column it looks like. Then similarly beams reinforcement, you can add the cut the section and transfer, just show the reinforcement and links here. Okay, so before going that, if you go to the section here, okay, and if you click here rebar, so the library is automatically active here. And if you go to the reinforcement, so we have setting here, rebar cover setting. So if you go and you can see here, cast against earth 75, then exterior from 10 dia to 16 dia 40. So you can give as per your requirement here. So whatever you have design, so on the basis of that you can set the cover. So once you set, and if you add the any reinforcement, so you can, so yeah, suppose I want to add the links here, so you can see. So if I move my cursor, so this green line is activated. Okay, so this green line is added on the basis of this setting, reinforcement setting in cover setting, rebar cover setting. So yeah, so here rebar cover, if you want to add, so you can just add and give your criteria. Okay, then if you go here, reinforcement setting, reinforcement roundup. So if you give some length uh, in suppose for example 4543, so you can round up in 10 mm or 10 nearest 5 mm also you can give. Suppose your bar length is 4323, so it's, if you give 5 mm tolerance, so it's automatically taken 4325 multiple of 5. So these are the things here, reinforcement presentation, and then area reinforcement. So we are not using this. So most of, if you want to add the reinforcement in 3D, so you can use this option. So these are in advanced features here. So if you purchase properly Autodesk product, okay, as per the your code, which type of code you are working, so then you can use this. So right now, just for information, if you want to add the reinforcement in 3D, so you can use this option. So yeah, so these are all things. So if I select this and if you go down, so you can see the dimension for this link. Okay, so if you go here, so this is the A dimension. So I will so my column or whatever beam size is 600, right? And if I check the link length is this one 664. So I will just give the dimension from here to here 670. Okay, so 650 calculator. Okay, so 650 minus 750, okay, divided by 2, so it's a 50 mm cover here, right? So if I select this, And if you go down, so you can see the A dimension. So this is 520, so in this direction. Then is 670, this is C dimension. Okay, so these are the different A, B, C, D, right? So if you go here, so links dimension. Okay, I will just add here. Okay. So this A dimension, this is C dimension, and hook. If you see the hook here, so, so this dimension is automatically come here. Okay, for example, I will just select the L bar here. So you can see if I select this L bar, so you can see this is 16 bar dia. Then quantity, so quantity is 11. Okay, so then you can see the dimension. A dimension is 0, B dimension 370, then 1120 C dimension, then your B dimension and D dimension. So this is your B dimension and D dimension should be same here, right? And 1120 is your C dimension, A, C, and B. Okay, you can select any shape of reinforcement. You can give the, or you can see the details here. So if you go again, so you can see there are the different types of bar shape here, right? So just practice on that so you can get the idea. So sometimes we are providing some T9 links also. So suppose in beam. Okay, so I will just show concrete section, right? So suppose you have design here. So suppose you have given the 3 bar here, right? So I will just select both the bars, just add here, right? And I want to add the T9 shape, T9 bar. So if you go down, so this is my T9, and then you can just add here, right? So if you look at in 3D view, so you can see here, and the spacing you can mention here. So suppose I will give 150. So it could be match your number of the links. You can see. Okay, so these are things. So if you want to add some reinforcement in 3D view, so you have option here. So you need to first cut the section, right? Then, okay, so if you go to the modify, so last time we saw cop, cut, join here. Yes, so these options. So if you want to join two rope, okay, so for example, I will give the example here. So I will just delete this truss and I want to add the roof here. Okay, the basic wall. Okay, so this is our roof. Go to floor plan, right? And our wall is here, right? So I will just add the wall in this direction also, right? Like that. Okay, and I want to add the roof. So go to the architectural, click here, roof by footprint, and then I will just add the roof. So suppose overhang is 100 mm, 100 mm is 300 mm, right? And just add roof here, okay, like that. Then I want to add separate roof. Okay, so if you add the separate roof, so 300 here also, and 300 here also, right? And just trim this. Okay, so if you go to your model, so you need to on this rope, line. Okay, so this is your loop. Okay, but you need to give the slope point here. So select and just go to the footprint, and I will define the slope for both the direction. Okay, so you can give 30 30, and you need to give the same here, or any footprint. I will assign the slope for two direction. 30 is okay, like that. But if you see, this rope is just different. Okay, then if you want to connect with this rope, so you have option here. Go to the modify and click here rope. Okay, rope joint. So you need to select, sorry, you need to select first this rope. Oops, sorry. Okay, so click here, select the boundary, and select this. So what happened? Oops. Yes, so this rope is overlap to each other. Okay, so that's the reason they are not combined here. Okay, so if you see here in video, right, so you can see for join. So what I do, I will just increase the level here. Okay, so I will give the level here 500 above, like that. Okay, and after that you need to go here and select this face. Okay, and after that this face, so you can see, you need to join this one like that. So suppose, but if you want to add the rope, so try to give the rope in one segment or one sketch, so you don't need to join this. But if you model separately and if you want to join, so you have option here. Then here beam and column joints, so I will just add the beam. So if I use this, so this is the disadvantage for this. Okay, so for join this beam and column, so if I use this, right? Oops. In steel containing, so I will just select weapon. So the purpose for this command is join both the beams and two beams like that. So if you use this, so it's automatically tapered here, but the purpose is like that. You can see, if you want to join the two beams miter frame like that, so you have option. So the most of the times this command is not work, so if he not work, so you can just add the reference line and just cut both the line, both the members. That's the purpose for this. Then wall joints, so if you want to connect two walls like that, so you can use this. But most of these type of joints we are not giving, so most of our wall joints is 90-degree. Okay, but if you want to join, so you can use this option. Then split face in not using. Okay, so next is paint. Suppose this is your building and if you want to give the paint, right, so you have option here. So go to here paint, right, and then you need to select any paint. So these are the different paints here. Suppose I will select this yellow, right, and just apply on your profile where you want. So you can give the paint also your structure like that, like that, like that. Okay, suppose I want to give the different for rope, so then you can just add the rope. Okay, so you can give the paint here, but normally we are not giving in our structural drawing paint. If you don't want to, suppose if you want to add and if you want to remove, so you have option here remove paint. Select and select. So you can add and remove pen, but just for information, if you want to give some pen, so you have option here, pen and unpen, right? Then next command is demolish. Okay, so suppose this is my drawing. Okay, so tb move 0. Okay, so this is my structure here. Okay, and I want to demolish some wall. So here is already wall here, existing wall, or you can say, but I want to demolish this. So how to, you need to go here, just click and just select your wall. So you can see this wall is highlighted in dotted lines. Okay, it means this element is demolished. So if you want to represent the demolished part in your structure, so you can use this, and then you can highlight here demolished wall will be demolished, or you can give any text there. So you can see if I select, so this wall you can represent in your plan. Okay, so these thing, align, then move, parallel, then copy, mirror. Okay, so we saw already those things. So this is the temporary distance. If you want to measure the temporary distance, don't give the permanent distance dimension, so you can just use this option. So 6.8 meter. Then if you want to check, but you don't want to give the dimension, so you need to just check here. So this is the temporary dimension, right? Then the important command you hear, this one, block. Okay, suppose you have create some element, so I will just add here 3D or 2D. So suppose you have create, see, okay, to just copy here and just mirror. Okay, so just consider this is your sum, and you need to paste at all location, some location as per your requirement. So what we need to, so just don't go each and every location and create a sum here. Okay, so the same size, create again here. So as per your requirement, if you want to give the same shape, same structure at all location, so you can just create a block here. Okay, so just select all. Once you select, so this table is active here. Group, create a group here. So select, and you can give the name sum one or any, right? So this is my block, and then I can just copy at certain location. Okay, you need to just copy, right, like that. Then suppose if you want to change this size, the sum one, so you just select any one of the block and go to edit, and then you can just change. Suppose this size is just like that. Okay, so this is my size, new size, and click here. Okay, so all changes reflect at all location. So if you want to create a block, this is the 3D element. Okay, so you can create a block for 3D as well as 2D. Suppose I will just add the line here. Okay, detail line. So this is my geometry. I will just convert into the medium line. Okay, and I want to highlight those things. So just DL command. Okay, so this is my block, right? So just select all, create a block. So you need to go here, right? And you can go, you can give any name or number. Okay, so you can say here opening, and click here OK, right? So then you can copy at multiple location. So if you, the same geometry you want to add here, and if you want to change, so go to here, edit, and you can change. If you want to break this group, so you have option here, ungroup, so you can just, so all the elements is independently here. Okay, so these are all things. So I think we should stop for now. In next session, we will see how to extract the other different model. So suppose if you're working on some multidisciplinary project, so for example, so this is our structural, and then mechanical, then electrical working, then how to set the base point for this your model. Okay, so we will see, and how to extract the this model in our model, and how to coordinate. Okay, so suppose our wall, this is our wall, and you need to give the pipe opening here, so you need to extract this mechanical model in your structural model. So on the basis of that, you can get the right location of this pipe, and then you can give the opening through this wall. So we will see in next session. Okay, so any doubts, any question? Hello?
Yes, sir. No doubt, sir.
Okay, so do the practice.
सर
Practice.
ये प्रैक्टिस कुछ
Hmm?
सैंपल भेज देते सर प्रैक्टिस के लिए,
Sample.
क्योंकि हाँ कुछ हमारे पास है नहीं स्टील से रिलेटेड, किसी के पास भी नहीं है सर।
अनिल सर से पूछो, एक आध बिल्डिंग दे दो हमको, ऐसा ये इंडस्ट्रियल बिल्डिंग और कौन सा कमर्शियल, अनिल सर के पास बहुत है। ठीक है,
ओके सर,
ठीक है, ओके, गुड नाइट।
गुड नाइट।
Good night, sir.
Good night,
Thank
sir.
you.
गुड नाइट।
Good night, sir.